Last week, I shared with you the second reason of what pushed me towards the functional medicine route, and now I'm going to kind of share with you the last reason. So this happened probably early 20s is when this started. I had put on some college weight. Everyone knows how that goes. And so I decided that I wanted to start to lose some weight. Well, that was back in the late 90s when the Atkins diet was very, very prominent. So I went on the Atkins diet, pretty strict. I did that for about probably 3 to 4 months. And then within about 6 months of going back to eating the standard American diet, I noticed that my gut was not right. But for years, I had bad bloating, loose stools, I wouldn't say indigestion. It was more of like a fullness after I ate, to where I just didn't feel good. I got bloated so bad to where I would have to lay down, take apple cider vinegar, and hopefully that would take some of the bloating down. I could never pinpoint a food. I could never pinpoint what it was. So around the age of 23 or so, actually may have been 24, I was an RN and I was working night shifts, and my mom finally convinced me to go see a GI doctor. She said the other medical doctors, they have no idea. We did every test that we could. We did upper GIs, lower GIs. They all came back normal. And the last possibility I thought was maybe a colonoscopy. So I went into my GI provider and he said, "Well, you're a nurse." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "So you're under a lot of stress." And I said, "Of course I am. That's being a new nurse and working night shift and learning everything and taking care of patients." I said, "No more than anyone else." And he said, "Well, stress induces this, and what you have is IBS." And I said, "Okay, so how do we treat this?" And he said, "You have this pill." And I said, "Okay, so how long do I have to take this pill?" He said, "For the rest of your life. There is no treatment." And I kind of laughed because, again, I was also kind of more on the holistic side, and I was not a medicine taker. And I said, "Just so you know," I said, "I'm not taking the pill for the rest of my life." I said, "There's no diet. There's nothing that I can do on my own to help this." And he said, "Absolutely not." And he said, "I would also like to give you another medication." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "I'd like to give you some Xanax." And he said, "Because if you're under a lot of stress induces this, so the Xanax will help." And again, I kind of chuckled and I said, "No, thank you." I said, "I'll try the other medication for a couple of months and see if it works. I'll give it a good shot." But I said, "I won't continue it. Just so you're aware, I'm not going to be a great patient because I'm, 23 years old. I'm not going to continue medication for the rest of my life." And so I knew at that point that I had to figure something else out. The diet change helped. I tried to increase more vegetables. I tried to increase my protein. I would go weeks or months that I did great, and then it would just flip on me again. Again, I drank plenty of water. I did all the right things. I exercised, and I still had not figured out what was going on until, again, I came in the functional medicine realm. And I decided to do a gut test on myself. I thought, this has got to show me something because something's off. This is not normal. And it showed that I was very, very low in digestive and pancreatic enzymes. And seeing this, I was like, this all makes sense. And knowing what I know about the gut, because what I had, and again, I looked back and thought back years of how did this change? Well, anytime you make a severe diet change, you have to support your gut microbiome. Well, at 20 years old, I wasn't aware of this. I had made a complete diet change, so eating crappy food, the standard American diet, to complete very, very low carb and very little fruits, if any fruits, and some veggies. So it completely changed my microbiome in my gut. And it never got fully, I want to say it actually didn't hit me until I switched back to standard American. And I think I threw everything off, and it had been off for years because I never knew how to fix it or how to balance that. So when I started I started taking digestive enzymes, and it took a little while, and I had to kind of tweak my diet a little bit, but I'm now normal. And this just kind of goes to show you the power of functional tests. Even though, you go to every specialist, every primary care provider, and they say, "We've done all the tests and there's nothing wrong with you," but you're not okay. There is more that we can do, and more that we can do a deeper dive to kind of see, are you low in something specific, or is it just an abnormality or what we call a dysbiosis, to where the bacteria is just not balanced. So there are so many other routes that we can take. And this is, again, another prime example of why, for me, the functional medicine route is the best route for me to take care of my patients.